Howdy guys, how's it going? So we are going to be doing something a little bit different than anything that we've done before on here and comparing to weapons. So, you know, here we are in Season 5, we've got the AN-94, previously we had got the CR-56, the Galil of Modern Warfare, the updated modern version of the Galil. And these are two weapons that are really not that far apart from one another as far as just how good they are and some of their stats in general. So I've been seeing the CR-56 AMAX used a lot more here recently, and I feel like people are starting to gravitate back to it even more so than they are the AN-94 for whatever reason. So that's one reason, that's one of the things that really made me want to do this video and kind of compare them in game. Now, I was going to take and play with these two different weapons online in a match where I thought, you know, if we can try to keep it as scientific as possible, we're going to be playing custom match with bots on, you know, high difficulty, and that way it's just a little bit more of a controlled situation, and we ain't got to worry about lag, packet loss, none of that. We can just focus on the weapons themselves. Because when we go to the weapon classes and we look at the two weapons, we can compare the stats. So going from the AN-94 to the CR-56, with the CR-56, you know, it's got the only thing that it has an improvement on, like, you know, a leg up on the AN-94 is the damage and the range, and it's a very slight bump if anything, and it's showing to be a lot less accurate and have a slower fire rate. Now, with the AN-94, I think that hyperburst is really the main thing that attributes to it getting that bump in fire rate, because from what I can tell, from what I've used the two, they're not that far apart from one another to the point to where the AN-94 is shutting people down super fast unless you really do get every shot of that, you know, the hyperburst feature on them. And the CR-56 gets that little bump in damage and range because on here, the way they got things balanced out, the CR-56 is using 7.62 by 39mm rounds, which is, you know, the standard AK-47 round, and then the AN-94 is running the 5.45 by 39mm rounds. So not extremely like a big difference in terms of the actual stats. And as far as attachments goes, we're basically going to be running the same thing on each one. For the AN-94, we got the monolithic suppressor, Merc foregrip for the underbarrel, 60-round mag, stipple grip tape, and then the tack laser to help compensate for the 60-round mag attachment. Now, this is not in either case like the best setup for either weapon or my favorite, but it is the best setup that I've been using for just face-off, the 3v3 game mode that's out right now. It's been out, it'll come out again in the future, but whenever you're watching this, it might not be there. Now, since like I said, we're going to be keeping it with like a focus group, you know, a controlled group, we're going to be going into custom games, playing shoothouse domination with the bots on hardened. That way we can still, we don't want to do veteran because we still want to be able to take and, you know, not like get quick scope through walls and all that BS, but still be able to focus on the weapon, not have to worry about lag. And we're going to be using practically the same attachments on the CR-56. We got the monolithic suppressor, Merc foregrip, 45-round mag, stipple grip tape, and tack laser. So now on the AN-94 with the 60-round mags, and on this one we got the 45-round mags. On the AN-94, I try to take advantage of the hyperburst feature because, like, if you take and basically just, you know, burst shots, every pull of the trigger, it does the 2-round hyperburst. So in doing that, in theory, you can kill people a lot quicker if you are able to fully take advantage of that and maintain your accuracy and keep your shots on target. So you'll burn through 60 rounds quicker than you will normally if you're just going by, you know, holding down your trigger, letting the ammunition cycle out normally. So that is the attachments we got on both weapons, and that's how she looks. So let's hop into the game and get to comparing them. So now, if this is something you guys want to see me do with other weapons, let me know, and I'll be happy to do it because, I mean, we've already burned through, you know, the battle pass here on Season 5. So we're going to start off, but we're starting off with the AN-94, not for any real particular reason, but I am using the company's Mike blueprint, so it has the tracer rounds, but that does not help or hurt you, really. So the big thing here is just, like I said, going to be taking advantage of the hyperburst feature to shut people down. We're going to play halfway through this match and then move into the CR-56. So, I mean, I've obviously used both weapons quite a bit. Did that guy hop through the window? He really did. Now, up close, the AN-94 can really shut people down a lot faster just because of the hyperburst feature, and normally you're not going to really be, you know, having any issue with hitting your shots right up close and personal. Having the tack laser on here really helps compensate for just having the monolithic suppressor and the big 60-round mags on there. And with the CR-56, attack laser actually hello game. So maybe this thing shoots Nerf darts. Like, you do notice the slight reduction in damage with the the AN-94 compared to the CR-56. At least I have in the past couple matches that I've played with it. And look, I swear I got these bots on hardened. I'm just I've been lagging a bit. So like after you play and have been compensating for lag for like about an hour, and then you get in the game in a situation where you're not lagging, it kind of helps you in a way. It trains you to be a little bit snappier and kind of leads you. Advanced UAV, there we go. I'm not going to call in the old VTOL just because we don't really need to. So, I mean, at this point, if I die, I might as well go ahead and start using the CR-56 just so that we can, actually, no, never mind. We need to pop a reload real quick. Come on now, reload with me. Okay, so look, so if you use that, we'll transition back and forth between the two. So, the ADS time, it's very, very similar between the two. It's like, I'm sure, you know, if you broke it down frame by frame, be able to tell which one's faster or slower. I think the CR-56 might have a slightly faster ADS time at the moment because just between the 45 round mag and then the 60 round mag, you know, this one is a wee bit lighter, and I think it shows within the two. Now, you notice the damage stat a lot more. The fact that this has an increased damage, this has more damage than the AN-94. Let's put it that way. Sorry it took me that long to articulate the English language. It's early in the morning, and this is the first time I'm doing this, but like comparing two weapons, so I'm really not sure on all the key points I want to touch on. This is kind of a spur of the moment thing, but you know, I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that I think the CR-56 is actually going to be the better weapon in most cases, just because of it's got that increase in damage. These 7.60 by 39 rounds hit harder in the game based on the way that they balance these ammo types out. And it's like if you're going off the exact same, you know, attachments, which is essentially what we got, the only real difference is the AN-94 has a 60 round mag attachment, and this one right here is rocking a 45. The accuracy is not really different. If anything, you know, the first few shots, the AN-94 is, you know, without a doubt, has the potential to be more accurate as long as, you know, you control your shots and all that stuff. It does have a slightly faster fire rate, but it's like once you balance everything out, take all the factors into consideration, and realize this thing just has that little bump in damage in your short to medium range engagements, I think you're going to find yourself winning pretty much every time, unless somebody just gets a really good pattern on you as far as a couple extra shots in your chest or right in your noggin. You know, right between the old looking balls with the old AN-94, your CR-56 is going to shut you down just a wee bit faster. At least that's what I'm really glad I decided to do this in custom games, because, you know, online, just with everything else, all the uncontrollable factors, and with this I can kind of make sure I'm keeping my shots above the chest, and we can just keep it controlled a little bit better. We'll take and switch back to the AN-94 meow. So we got that. We went AN-94 CR-56. Yeah, the ADS time is practically the same. I think this might be just a hair slower, but not enough to really, you know, complain about or make it any kind of an issue. And in a way, you know, since we're using the same attachments, it kind of brings the guns to where they are on, you know, just with no attachments as far as the stat goes. It just kind of rebalances them out, but makes the weapon more usable in game. And you're not going to be able to go wrong with either of these. It's just, see, whenever, this is what I want to do. So let's see if we can get one of these guys not looking at us. Okay, I shot her, I skimmed the clit on that chick right there. It just went right between her legs. But, no, this hyper burst, I want to see, it's like after I have initial rounds out. Yeah, I mean, I really think that the CR-56 and the AN-94, with the AN-94, after you have that initial hyper burst out of the way, the fire rate is almost, they're right there, they're neck and neck with one another. Like, I don't think you're going to find a big difference. So having having that higher damage with the CR-56 ends up lending you more of an advantage after you have that hyper burst out of the way, because it's like you're not always going to be able to use the hyper burst feature whenever you're dealing with multiple people, especially when they're actual people and not just bots. So you're going to be relying on the fire rate of the weapon whenever you're just, you know, going full auto the whole time, holding her down, letting it fly. And I thought the tracer rounds was really dope originally, but now that I've been using them, I don't know, they're not really doing it for me nearly as much as they was when I first got them. But I guess that's the way it is with everything. After the initial, you know, the initial fun of it wears off, then it's just kind of like, you know, it's nothing special. So look, two people, there we go, full articulation. I mean, both of these weapons are so good, and both of these weapons at the moment are, you know, going to be a great option either way. It's just trying to figure out between the two which is your best bet to use. It's like, you know, if you've got one and you got somebody using the other, are you better off to try and counter it with the exact same weapon, or are you better off to try to counter with, you know, the CR-56 or the AN-94. And I mean, obviously the AN-94 is a new weapon. It's a new big kid on the block. It's pretty OP, and it's really fun to use, and a lot of people are going to be using it. See, now, whenever I'm looking at these two weapons and I'm thinking about my Warzone class setups, I feel like the CR-56 is actually going to be your better option there, just because you're going to be able to shut people down a lot quicker. It has a slower ADS time, but with the longer barrel that I put on the CR-56, the monolithic suppressor, rocking the stippled grip tape. Oh, I think, you know, both of them is going to make good baseball bats too. So, switching back to the CR-56 after our next death, we'll see how she goes. I kind of wish I could have some of these things just stand in and we could really give a shot-by-shot comparison on each one. Because to me, the kill time is basically the same. For this next engagement, I want to see, like, if I can kind of get, we got 60 rounds in the mag. Okay, let's see right here. We're just going to hit, I swear to penis in my toaster, brother. Can't even, I get goddamn flashbang by bots. You gotta love it. So I'm going to go in, let's hit this UAV real quick. See if I can get on a guy without shooting him in the noggin. Like, the one time I don't want to shoot him in the head is going to be the time I can't stop shooting him in the head. So I'm pretty sure that right there was like, okay, we got the CR-56. So that was, I want to say like 3 shots. We're killing these guys in 3 to 4 shots easy. So now let's go back to the AN-94. I'm going to either kamikaze myself, let him kill me. Grenade, do your, okay, well, it didn't even get him. Hey, so I'm sorry, I'm having a verbal stroke every 3 seconds just because it's early in the morning. I'm not woke up yet, so my brain doesn't know, whether it should be present or not for the activity that we're currently engaging in. But let's, okay, boom. So 5 shots down. I'm sure that killed him within, you know, once again, 3 to 4. So it's basically the same playing core. It's just, it's hard to tell. These guns together, I mean, they're both, like I said, they're both absolute powerhouse weapons. And at the moment, the way things are standing, neither of them has been affected by nerfs or buffs in either way to where they're going to be unusable. And they're so similar in you know, just the stat menu in general that, it's hard to say which one's the better one. I think, me personally, I'm loving the AN-94, and, you know, once again, it is, you know, the newest, biggest, bestest thing. But I would have to say, in my opinion, I'm digging the CR-56 more, because this thing says it has a boost in accuracy, but it's really just lending that to that original hyperburst feature. And I find myself being able to take and maintain my accuracy better with the CR-56. And that's no joke. I'm not making it up. Like, you can kind of see that in, like, what's going on right now with what we're experiencing. It's like after the hyperburst gets out of the way, then it's nothing special. And the CR-56, I swear, catch me with my pants down reloading. I kind of wish we had a 60-round mag option for the CR-56. That'd be nice. So I guess that's one leg up the AN-94 has, since there's not that big of a difference in how many rounds it takes to kill somebody on here. You know, you could say that that would be a big plus with the AN-94. But if you're really using that hyperburst feature to its full potential, you'll find yourself running through those 60-round mags fast. But this CR-56 is just, I don't know, it's a little bit better to me. I think the Galil kind of is going to be taking the lead on this, but not by a lot. Like, you know, if this was like a 1 out of 10 situation, or let's just say on a 100-point scale, I would have to give, you know, the AN-94 like a 92, and then maybe give the CR-56 like a 95, because neither of them's perfect. They both have their downfalls, but when comparing them to each other, the CR-56 I think has a couple points up on the AN-94. So look, this game's coming to an end. We're going to finish her out with the CR-56, since that's what we're going to be crowning the winner in this here comparison. I mean, you know, if you noticed any discrepancies in anything I said, please let me know in the comments, because like, this was a very spur-of-the-moment idea that I thought I would do after I continually ran into the CR-56 in face-off matches, and then use the CR-56, I'm not English, hello, use the CR-56, and I found myself beating people who was running the AN-94 and vice versa. So, you know, yeah, please let me know your thoughts on this. If you'd like me to do this with other weapons, whenever I do it with other weapons, I'll try to make sure that I have a more detailed inspection criteria for each one. But either, and I think you know, this is something that doesn't really matter, but I think the CR-56 just looks better with Damascus as well. So yeah, like, I ain't hating on the AN-94. The AN-94 is a great option, very fun weapon, awesome addition to the game, but the CR-56 might still be the king. So yeah, let me know, hit me up in the comments, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, share your friends, and until the next one, adios.